Oh, we've already got a comment
Do we?
from StreamYard. Live viewer comments show up on the StreamYard.
Yeah, StreamYard.
This is an example. Great to hear from you.
Yeah, that's for the people who.
By.
That's for the people who never get comments. That's so they can know if one happens to occur. That's where it is.
That's what it'll look like.
Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Retro Fandango, episode number 160. I am Kevin, aka Buried on Mars, and I'm here with Ramvox, also known as Richard. Richard, did you ever think we would make it to episode number 160?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Especially when we hit 159.
Yeah,
we already planned to do 160. Kind of, yeah.
You never know. One of us is just gonna drop that bombshell someday.
Yeah, I'm leaving the show. That happened. That happened to the Polykill.
Yeah,
there's only half a Polykill now.
Yeah. Well, there was I didn't see. Was the reveal made of the new host?
Yep.
I saw a teaser for it, but I didn't see the reveal.
Yep. Do you want me to tell you, or are you gonna? Do you want to find out for yourself?
I don't know.
It's a spoiler. Should I let that spoiler out there?
Go ahead.
Yeah, who cares? There's like a bajillion people that listen to that show, and we got the power 30. It's Blink is his name on the Twitter. He goes by Blink. I can't remember his real name. Blink.
Congratulations, Blink.
Yes, making it to the big time.
And hello, Rocket Sauce.
Yeah. Rocket
Even
Sauce,
though I got no reminder. Are we supposed to tell you when to show up?
I have been reminding him, but he asked me this morning if we were recording, and I told him yes at 5. So I did tell him today that we were recording at 5. I didn't think he needed a reminder again.
There are lots of numbers on the clock.
Yeah. Yeah. Guess it gets confusing for him. Well, let's get to this. What are we doing? Oh yeah, house cleaning here. Check out the quick save club, as they are in the last week and a half of playing Fallout New Vegas. Next month will be Torchlight 2. So I think, or is it racing games? No, it's Torchlight 2, and then racing games. So get ready for that. So get ready for that podcast to be coming up too. That's going to be fun. Can't wait to talk to all my guys about Fallout New Vegas, because I had a fun adventure, and you can go different branches in that game. You can have a different experience. So I'm wondering what they did, if it was the same as what I did.
Probably involved shooting things with your gun.
There's it's cool. You can play it like I know I'm giving away my thoughts for the podcast here, but you can play it like the Man with No Name in the Dollars trilogy. Yeah, you know how like Clint Eastwood was always playing both sides, and he'd screw over that guy, then he'd go over to the other side, and he'd say, I can make some money if I make up some stuff about them over there. So he would do that, and then he'd go back to the other side and report, and he would just screw everybody over and come out with a bunch of money. So that's basically what I did. It was good times.
No loyalty whatsoever.
No.
Loose morals. Fill your pockets.
No, I don't want to give too much away, but I tell you, the people who were in charge of things, I felt I was running them better than they were. I was doing things. I was getting things done, unlike them. So I felt I was justified in what I was doing. RF Gen playing Gears of War. And we got a whole swack of games to announce for CC Prime, the cartridge club.
Swack.
A swack.
That's a cool word.
I guess they had
a real word.
Swack. I think so. If you've never had a swack of something before,
can't say that I have.
It's a substantial amount.
Someday I hope to have a swack of something.
I think swack's a word. I think people have said that in the past. I don't think I'm the first. But maybe I am. Maybe that's my thing. Swack. Anyways, last night they had a Summer Games thing. I'm not sure what the heck it is. It just came up on my phone, to be honest. I was waiting for my graphics card to update, and I got this announcement on the phone that, hey, the Cartridge Club are broadcasting right now. So I started watching them last night, and they were talking about all the PlayStation announcements and Nintendo announcements from the last couple of weeks. But I guess at the end of the show, they announced a bunch of games coming up up until February 2021. That's a very positive outlook that we will still all be around by February 2021, because who knows? It's Rocket Sauce says it. Just a recap of games announced over the summer. So that's what it was. So you go check that out over at the CC Club. I think it was called Summer of Games Part 2. And I watched a good chunk of it. I should go back and watch the rest. I got the next week off, so I probably will at some point then. Anyways, here's the games that they got. So we already know that they're playing God of War this month. We talked enough about that. Next month, they're playing Parasite Eve, which I do have. I still have it. I haven't sold that guy yet. So, and I really should play it. I did play Parasite Eve 3 on the PSP, which I think is called, not Catherine, it's called a number. I think there's a number in the title. Anyways, I enjoyed that, even though that game is apparently way different than Parasite Eve. But I bought that game like so many years ago. I probably should just play it. Banjo-Kazooie, which I have played before. You played Banjo-Kazooie before?
No, I think I tried to play. Maybe it was there were two on the N64, right?
There was
I think I had
Kazooie
it,
and a
but
Tooie.
those is Sauce out there? Yeah, he is. those N64 open world collectathon games are garbage. I never liked them. I could never get into any of them.
I don't know
Those
if
Mario 64s and Banjo Kazoogies and things like that.
I don't know if Banjo was as much of a collectathon as like Donkey Kong. The Donkey Kong game was
3D platforming. Jump over here, get that coin. I never had any patience for that nonsense.
Well, I played it, to be honest, I played it on the Xbox with the Rare Replay.
Replay.
And I enjoyed it. I thought it was good on there. So I don't know. I don't remember doing much collecting, though, but there was a lot of platforming. I don't think I finished it, though. I don't think I made it through to the end. I was like at a spot where there was a lot of platforming to do, and it was close. It was close to the end, though.
What's the gimmick with that? Like, there's a bear and a bird, and you switch, and they have different abilities, something like that.
No,
like they kind of have different platforming things.
I don't even remember.
One can be a bear.
I think it's kind of like Ratchet and Clank, where you run around as the bear and the bird does things in your backpack.
Yeah,
as you do things. I think. I don't know. I don't remember that much. It's pretty bad. I remember Nuts and Bolts on the 360 more than I remember Banjo-Kazooie. Remember Nuts and Bolts? That was the 360 game that all the Banjo-Kazooie lovers hated because it was about cars. It wasn't about it was a platformer. It was like a car building game, and you could build these tanks and stuff like that, and it was cool. Rocket Sauce confirms it was like Ratchet and Clank. So there you go. Ratchet and Clank ripped off Banjo-Kazooie. Fun fact.
You want another fun fact?
Yes.
I bought Parasite Eve brand spanking new way back in the day.
Really? And did you play it?
No. I played like a couple minutes of it. I'm like, what is this RPG nonsense? I can't just run around and shoot things.
Why did you buy it?
I remember the opening scene in the opera.
Yes, I have looked at that. I played through that. I think that's as far as I got when I used to get games, and I would test them right away to make sure that they worked.
Was she like a detective or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Why did you buy that game?
It was you asked me this not too long ago. Like, why did I get back into gaming? And I told you I got the PlayStation and I bought Metal Gear Solid, and it was like people were saying, "Oh, right, Ratchet and Clank, Resident. What's the name of this game we're talking about?
Parasite Eve.
Parasite Eve." I was like, "Oh, it's a good game." I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." And then it was just, I see numbers flashing on screen, shoot an enemy, numbers pop out of them.
I see. Yeah, I used to. Yeah, I used to hate that too. That used to be a deal breaker for me too. As soon as I saw numbers popping out of a character's head,
Now, don't get me wrong. When numbers pop out of a character, like because in an arcade game, you step on them and then boop, 100 points.
Okay,
that's cool.
Yeah, or coins or something like that.
But when they slowly drip out, like 2, 3, -7.
Yeah, I've come around on RPGs and I play them whenever I feel like it. So then up in December 2020, they have Life is Strange. We're already getting close to the end of 2020. Life is Strange, I have played that and I enjoyed it. That was like an adventure, kind of like a point and click adventure game, but it's like a modern one where you can control the character fully and you go around and strange stuff happens and she gets this power, and it was good. I liked it. I never played the sequel. In January they got Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap. I have that game as well. I haven't played it yet, so there's an excuse to play that.
Is that on the what is that for? Master System?
No, that's the one that I think that's the more recent one that came out. Yeah,
I have no idea.
It's on Steam, GOG, the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, the Switch.
I don't follow these lesser franchises. Let's see if he's listening.
Eric left a long time ago. And finally, in February 2021, this is the big one. They're playing Ghostbusters, the video game.
Hey-o. Is that like the big send-off? Is that the big blowout, the end of the Cartridge Club?
Goodbye, Cartridge Club.
CC Prime going out with a bang.
That's right. No, I think that's exciting because I already booked myself on that podcast. I'm already on there, and I think you're on there too. So it's going to be a Fandango special. They don't know who the host is going to be. They just have guests lined up. When has that ever happened before?
Oh boy.
Hosts, we don't know, but guests, boom.
I don't know. Rocket Sauce is also mentioning the March games, which is going to be the Ninja Turtle beat 'em ups, TMNT Arcade, Turtles in Time, Hyperstone Heist, which I'm not sure. Is that all the you play whatever version you want, the arcade, the consoles?
I don't know. Where are you seeing that? Where's the...
He just wrote it in the chat.
Oh. Also in March, all the Turtle games. Okay. All right. All of them?
Or is it all? Yeah, because there are a lot of Turtle games. But I assume they're focusing on those good ones.
Oh, well.
His response is yep. We said a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't know which yep he's saying to. Tell us the games. Tell us which Turtles.
I got Turtles right here. I got a Raphael.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Leonardo.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Michelangelo.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a Donatello.
What are those?
They're key holders. You stick your key in there, man. There, and then it comes at the bottom.
How do I make you big again?
Well, if I do this, no, there. If I do this, now I am Raphael. Look at that.
I can't remember how to make you big.
High technology here. Hurry up! Can't hold this too much longer.
No, none of it works.
It's very difficult. You lost it.
Oh, that's it. That's how you do it.
Too late.
Oh, come on.
Too late. You had your chance.
Oh, fair.
Arcade, Turtles in Time, and Hyperstone. I was right.
Okay.
I was playing some Turtles arcade yesterday.
Okay? We'll get into the Voxcade very soon. Let's get rid of this Fandango.
You put that in the outline.
I did because I want to talk about it. Fandango next week with Rocket Sauce. He'll actually be on the show next week.
We're gonna let him speak.
We're gonna let him.
Is he gonna type all of his comments?
I mean, he can be on right now if he wants.
Yeah, I don't know if people have figured this out. If you're hanging out in the chat every single week, you might as well just plug in a mic.
I mean, where is the? Jeez, that's the thing. There you go. See if that works. There you go. All right. If you want to be on, Ryan, just click on that. Okay, September next week, doing Stripes, Revenge of the Nerds, and Major League. October, it's Curtis's Revenge, all about trolls. The movies are all about trolls. It's got Troll 2, The Troll Hunter, and Ernest Scared Stupid. And then in November, we're doing the coming of age 3-pack, Stand By Me, Rushmore, and Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Today at work, they actually wanted me to put in half of Fast Times at
Ridgemont High.
That's what I was trying to say. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I know why.
They wanted the last half hour of the movie and the scene where Phoebe Cates takes her top off. They called it the dream. We want the dream sequence, and I'm like, "Are you guys sure you want this? Like, this is new." Oh yeah, no, we want that. Okay. So that's what I had to do. I had to watch Phoebe Cates do her thing.
I've never seen that movie.
I don't know what you're doing here then, because
it's not on our list. Well, I know. I'm guessing I know the scene, the red bikini walking out of the pool, but is there actual nudity in that?
Oh yeah, yep, yep. And as the lady,
they pay you for this, huh?
As the lady says in Seinfeld, they're real and they're spectacular. Let me tell you. Yeah, okay, let's talk about your Voxcade. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can pull this off. There we go. Do that thing. Yes. Okay, let's do... Yep, that's the thing. That's the thing. Here we go. Just wait. It's going to get good. You people looking, you're just seeing a blank screen. Look at this thing.
You're showing off all our secrets.
Oh no. Where's this thing? There it is. There. Look at this thing.
There you go.
Look at this beauty. So I am for people who are listening, I am showing Richard's Voxcade cabinets. And if you can't watch this, go check it out on his. Go follow him at the Ramvox, because he posted it there.
Or don't. You don't have to follow.
I don't
say too many interesting things.
Look at that. That looks beautiful, man.
Thank you.
I love it. It looks so great. I wouldn't even touch it. Like, just leave it like that, man. I love the wood. I love the natural wood. Yeah.
Well, as I mentioned, Matt Bandy commented on that. It's the cheapest option. I was thinking of messing around with it, maybe adding some black or something to accent here and there, but they're just made out of cheap plywood and covered up with a very simple stain.
Well, they look awesome. I love it.
I enjoy them. I'm having fun working on them.
So how did you link them? And you link them and they show the same game on the screen and all that stuff?
Right. Well, basically, it's just one machine. There's one Raspberry Pi between them.
Oh, I see.
And all I did was the controllers on the other machine. I just put some USB extensions and plugged them all the way in.
Gotcha.
And then I just divided the signal to go to the other screen. Well, so it was nothing high tech or anything. And that's only useful. So if you want to play 4-player Ninja Turtles or The Simpsons or some other beat 'em ups that have 3 or 4 players, now you can do it like that. But I will be installing another Raspberry Pi, Retro Pi into the other machine at some point so they can work independently.
Well, it looks good. Looks really good, man.
I'm having fun. Now I just need to wait a little bit of time before I start working on the next one so that my wife doesn't get too angry.
The next one?
It's possible.
You're going to have 3 of these in the house?
Well, if you notice, the one has only 3 buttons per control, and the other has 6 buttons. So the first one I made was a little bit smaller, so having the 6-button layout was kind of tight.
Right.
So it made it pretty difficult for playing fighting games. So the other one will be dedicated for fighting games. And then the one thing I'm missing is a nice central control for playing the really old school arcade stuff like Burger Time and Pac-Man. And the The joystick you want different. Like right now, they're configured to an 8-way direction, which is really helpful for a lot of like 90s arcade games or like the later beat 'em ups and things. But if you want to go old school Pac-Man and stuff, just 4-way makes that turn like a lot cleaner. Sometimes when I'm playing Burger Time, like I'll get stuck on the ladder and it's like I just can't move it the right way.
Right.
Plus the screens for those were tilted vertical, so you had more height for like the Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man and stuff. And these are presented in regular, when you're looking at a TV screen. So it depends on the game. So ideally, I'd really like to have one for Donkey Kong and Pac-Man and stuff.
Cool. 3 arcade. I can't even get one arcade machine in here.
I don't know why, because there's storage underneath. There's not much to those machines below the controllers. It's just empty space. So I got all my games and stuff in there. I got the modded Xbox in there. Got the all the physical media just stored under there.
Well, maybe I'm gonna have to work on Sarah a little bit. Maybe.
Just turn around, look at your cabinet right there, your shelf, and just imagine there was a TV screen up towards the top of it. There you go.
Over here?
Yeah.
This thing is a beast. It's not going anywhere, man. I don't even want it. When we move out, that's staying there. That's the next person's problem.
You're one of those people.
Yep.
Pass that problem on to somebody else.
Hey, that's what the people did who lived in this house. And I was like, you know what? I've learned a lesson. That's the way to do it.
I did that too when I moved out of my apartment before coming here. There was just one dresser. We didn't have time to toss until Len was like, there's just a dresser in there. But we left a box of tissues on it for you. So why don't you take care of that? Keep those tissues.
Well, while you were playing arcade games, I played a video game this week. I don't know if you saw, but Remedy Entertainment, the guys who made Max Payne 1 and 2 and Alan Wake, their very first game back in the early 90s on DOS was a racing game called Death Rally. And to celebrate their 30th anniversary or some sort of anniversary, they just put Death Rally out there for free. And it's permanently free. You can go get it right now. You don't have to pay a red cent for it. And so I picked it up. So what the heck? I'll tell you for free. I've always heard about this, like how good this game is, and I've never played it before. So I loaded it up and I started playing it, and it's a top-down racer, which I wasn't too thrilled about because I'm not really too much of a fan of top-down racers. But, I went through the effort of getting it into my Steam library and downloading it, so I started playing it a little bit. And then I started playing it a little bit more, and I started playing it a little bit more. Then I found out Duke Nukem's in the game, and I started playing it a little more, a little more. And then next thing you know, I played through the whole thing, and it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, it's a top-down racer. But you get to upgrade your car, so you're not doing so well at first. But you get better tires, better engine, and more armor because it is a combat racing as well. Each car has guns on them. Some you can improve, or some of the cars you can buy have better guns. But there's only a limited amount of ammo. You can't continue to shoot. So you got to use it strategically. And you could buy, so once you buy those things, then the next level you could buy mines to drop behind the car. You can buy like these spikes to put in front of your car. What was the other thing? Like jet fuel, so the car will zip faster. And you can pay to sabotage an opponent's car.
That's a neat trick.
So they start the race with their car at half damage already. So you can take out, if you take out all the cars, you're always racing against 3 other cars, and if you take them all out, you get a bonus. The bonus if you finish the race without any damage. And there was pickups to fix your car along the way, like you pick up wrenches which automatically fix your car because video games. But yeah, I I got hooked right into that. I got hooked right into like just making my car better and then saving up enough money to get the better car. So then you can go and to the medium races and then eventually go to the harder races. You get more and more money, and you earn enough money to get all the way up to the top. And then once you get to the top, you race this guy. I can't remember his name. He had some sort of name, but once you beat him, then you finish the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun.
How does it sound?
It sounds fine. You know, this is a DOS game.
Like special like effects that like, hey, that's a cool crash sound.
Like I mean, they're all older DOS sounds. You know, the coolest sound effect was that when Duke Nukem wins, when he beats you and he wins first, "Hail to the King, baby." You know, that's pretty much it though. Like
I saw Twitch Ryan had posted that, and I went and checked it out. I didn't play it, but yeah, I remember a lot of those top-down racers. I've played a few of them over the years, console versions, and sometimes like they're usually fun for a few minutes, but after a while, it gets kind of annoying that you can't see the whole road. Like it's always just as you go. Rock and Roll Racing or those Micro Machine games. They're always like, I want to like them, and that they have a nice charm about them. But I suppose the one that I've played the most, but even that isn't much, is Super Off-Road, where you can see the entire screen. It's like very simple. It's just go around. But, the charm only lasts for a few races, and then I gotta do something else.
Yeah, I'm pretty much.
If I had the big wheel, like in the arcade.
Yeah.
You ever see that machine?
Yeah. I'm pretty much in the same boat, and I was surprised that it hooked me in as much as it did. And I think it was like the gradual leveling up, and you're always progressing. Even if you didn't get in first place, you're making a little bit of money. To getting towards that next piece of equipment that will make the car better. So
that's cool. Good for them. Good on them for making it free.
Yeah.
Take some of these old games and just say, you know what, enjoy it.
Right? Yeah. I mean, you could make a 3-pack out of them and put them out for only a few months and charge gobs of money. And then once it's done, then people will be going on eBay to pay even more money for your old games, or you can put them out for free, like people do on the PC. But I don't know. I was really enjoying it, and there wasn't too many tracks, so it didn't get too confusing. And there was like the car is like in the middle of the screen, so you don't have too much of. It's a 4x3 game too, and you can't see too far ahead. But you do get to know the tracks after a while, and the controls are really, I was using the digital pad because the game felt definitely like it was made for digital controls. It was good. So then we were talking about Calvin and Hobbes last week.
Yes, I'm very curious because your note is cryptic.
Well, when you were pulling out all these Calvin and Hobbes books, and I was like, I got that one. I got that one. I got that one. I think I got that one. Well, that got me curious. I'm like, hey, let me go look through, because I know there was one book that I was missing. And turns out my entire collection is gone.
Wow. Oh,
I guess I got rid of it on a purge. They're all gone. I had to have been thinking, oh, they're all online anyways. I don't need those anymore.
That hurts.
Well, I remember
there were some things I can go to online, but Calvin and Hobbes is one of those things, like, because you can't read just one. You got to sit there and just go through a few pages.
Yeah. Well, my eyesight's so bad. I can't freaking read books anyways. I need it on an electronic device. It's really sad. I'm a sad person.
I was curious what that meant. I had a little fear that maybe you went back, revisited it, and thought, it's not so good.
No.
About that.
No. I gave up my books. So
I once I saw that, I was like, wait, it can't be that he doesn't enjoy it anymore. I picked up a book, I flipped it open, and the first one I saw was Calvin was making all these snowmen, And Hobbes comes up and is like, wow, you sure made a lot of snowmen. They're effigies. Each one represents somebody that I hate.
I
And then
remember that.
when the sun comes out, I'm going to watch them all melt. He's like, I didn't know you knew this many people.
Yeah.
The ones I hate the most are the smallest, so they'll go faster. Like, what a warped sense of humor. I love it.
It made me wish that I was smarter as a kid and I would think of that stuff when I was younger.
Exactly. You know what? That's the great thing about them is if you read them years ago, you know, you probably got entertainment out of them. But if you go back and read them now with, you know, an adult's perspective, you will see those second or even third layers. It's wonderful.
Well, while I was looking for my Calvin and Hobbes, I did find something else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right here in this shoebox. It's a very small shoebox.
That is a small shoebox. What size shoes are you wearing?
I think it's for kids. It might have been my sister's. I don't know. But check out. What does that say on there?
Apache Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
boy.
What could be in here? What could be in a shoebox?
You got some cool Star Trek baby shoes?
Oh, sorry. There's some baseball crap in here. I used to collect the Blue Jays schedules.
Get that out of here. Throw those right in the trash.
Let's see. I threw out Calvin and Hobbes, but I kept my what was this 1993. So I did. This is 1993 against the White Sox. So I did see the Blue Jays during one of their championship years.
Did you keep movie ticket stubs too?
Sometimes, but I must have thrown them out because I don't have any anymore.
Yeah, I used to keep them for a while, but then I realized,
the ones they give you now, the ink on them doesn't last. It just evaporates on there. So if you pull out like an old movie stub from the last couple of years, it'll be blank.
Yeah, you have there were some of the old ones where it felt like a heavier card stock and had a nice look to it, but it's no different than getting like a ticket when you go park your car. You get the little cheap printout.
Yeah. Well, and when I was a kid, the movie theater that we went to, you would just pay to go into the movie theater and then you could just watch whatever movie was there. So you would just get like a admit one kind of ticket. Like it wasn't like you could print them out at the dollar store. You can go grab some from the dollar store and put them in your pocket and then just, I got a ticket. There you go.
Theater hopping. Watch as many movies as you want.
Yeah. Anyways, do you want to know what was in this box or not?
I do.
Ready? Are you ready?
What's your Star Trek?
These are Star Trek cards.
Trading cards. Oh man, you got a whole box.
A whole box. This might be a full collection. I don't know. But that one's kind of lame. That was just a...
Oh, hey,
I got a bunch of them. I got doubles in here. Let's see, I know there's some original series and some next gen.
Ooh, do you have like a Deanna Troi one?
So there's Locutus aboard.
Cool. Those look like they're in really good condition too.
Oh, you got to keep them in good shape. This is I don't know what the heck this is. I don't remember this episode. It looks vaguely familiar. A guy with a mullet. I don't know.
Can't make it out.
It's not focusing. Let's see. I was hoping that these
find a good one.
Again, this is some great audio for.
Where's Mr. Spock?
Oh, there's some good stuff here. We got these guys here. There's Kirk chatting it up with some aliens there.
Tellarites.
There's this guy. Remember that guy?
What a monkey man.
With the horn on his head.
Mm-hmm.
There's Kirk hamming it up for the camera.
Doing his job.
Yep.
Right.
Let's see what else we got here.
That is cool.
Yeah.
You know what you got to get? You got to get one of them Pokemon binder books and slip all your cards in there.
I used to have a bunch of those for baseball cards, but yeah.
Threw them in the trash.
But the funny thing is, this was, I don't know if you could see that. It was the 25th anniversary, 1991 25th anniversary of Star Trek, which I thought was a long time ago. and now it's double that. It's 50 years.
Yeah. Very true. Well, that's cool. The only trading cards I have is I do have a complete set of the Jurassic Park Topps trading cards. At the time, my aunt worked at a drugstore or something where they sold those cards, and she got me just like tons and tons of them.
Yeah.
But I have them in like a little box, so I really want to put them in the thing where you can see them all. But Star Trek cards, that's cool.
Yeah. For some reason, I kept those. I do still have a bunch of baseball cards too.
You gotta get yourself a Trapper Keeper. Put all those cards in so you can see them nicely.
Yeah.
What'd you say you have in Canada? What's the name of your binders?
Duotangs.
Duotangs.
Yeah.
You gotta hit the thrift shops and find yourself a Star Trek Duotang.
But a Duotang is like it's a little different. It's like we call them binders. We call binders. The ring binders. We call those binders.
Mm-hmm. As long as it's got like a plasticky coating on it and a cool Velcro latch.
Well, maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I got a week off.
Maybe you can find one with Alf on it.
I got to go pick up some batteries for Sarah, so maybe I'll stop by the Duotang section while I risk
the Duotang shop.
While I risk getting COVID for some batteries and a Duotang. Has the cases been going up in Japan?
A few weeks back, we had a little spike in my area. There was a cluster or so, but recently it's getting pretty low again. So people are cautious, but a lot of people are getting bored, and you see people not wearing their masks and just chatting it up. And it doesn't help that the government is pushing this go-to travel campaign where they're trying to get people to go out and do some sightseeing and
what?
Yeah, it's dumb. That's very, very dumb.
That doesn't sound like a good idea at all.
No, it's not. It's a very bad idea. You should listen to the scientists. Like Joe Biden says, I'd listen to the scientists. Trust the scientists.
I was watching Joe Biden talk just before we got on here.
You were watching him do this.
Yep.
Sorry, another visual.
Yep. That's what he was doing. But, made sense. It was making sense. Now, the cases are spiking here again. We're getting up to 300 cases a day. We were down to like less than 100. But, they opened up the schools and people are getting really lax. They're having weddings. Mm-hmm. Weddings? What's wrong with people? What are you doing having a wedding? You can go get married. Go get married. Sure. Go to whatever. Priest, get married. You don't need to have a wedding. Wait until after. What's wrong with you? Weddings. Stupid. Dumb people. So things are, and people are just getting the same. Lax, going to bars. Those things should be closed. Sorry. If you work in a bar, if you're a waiter or a waitress, sorry. It's either we can only do one or the other, right? You want to have schools, you want to do the responsible thing and have schools, then you got to close all these bars. It's like we as a society should be figuring out what to do for these people, for the people who work in this industry, and really say, like, we got to shut this stuff down until we get it all figured out. But no, we don't do that. We don't do that. Anyways.
Got to make some money.
So they were up
People are tired of the masks.
They were up to 100 people could be together in a gathering, and they just shortened that back down to 25 today, and they're scaling some other things back. So who knows? If it keeps going up, they're going to be scaling more things back.
Well, going to do some common sense stuff.
Meanwhile, I've gone out on an adventure once. I went to 2 record stores on that one day. That was it.
Record stores.
Yeah, didn't I tell you that? Yeah.
That's where different people go in and they touch things. They flip through them with their filthy fingers, touching every little record that's on there.
Well, the 2 places we went required masks and gloves and sanitizing before you went in. So I'm all for
rocket sauce. All of the Wisconsin college towns had massive spikes this week.
Yeah, like that's the other. Yeah, because it's Frosh Week, right? That's the what they call it, the Frosh. The Frosh was happening. So
What?
Frosh Week, where you do your froshing. We had a
What are you
Frosh
talking
Week.
about?
Even I had a Frosh Week. Maybe it's
What's
a
a
Canadian thing.
frosh?
It's where you everybody just gets together. Everyone who's like on campus and all that gets together, and they have some sort of celebration. And somebody comes out and gives you a speech, and they say, "Look to your left, look to your right. The only people who are going to be here at the end of the world, like two of the people are going to be
Only
gone.
people that are going to be here at the end of the world.
End of the school year. It's the same speech every time. It's like, look to your left, look to your right. 2 out of the 3 people, like that includes yourself, will not be here at the end of the year. You won't make it.
I didn't have any friends in college. Oh.
Well, it wasn't a friends thing. It was like to go make friends. I hated it. I did not want to do it. I wanted to stay in my room and read Star Trek books. But no, I had to go do this Frosh crap and pretend to like people for for a few hours before I could go back into my room and listen to AC/DC and read Star Trek books. Okay, let's talk about movies. Speaking of Star Trek, let's talk about Star Trek Season 4, because it sounds like you watched it and you were giving it a lot of good ratings and stuff. And should I be watching Season 4 of Enterprise? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I'm done with Enterprise. I've watched them all. And a little feather in my cap, I think, aside from the animated series, this is the first Star Trek series that I can now confirm that I've actually seen every episode. I've never gone through like one at a time to go through. I watched a lot, like Next Generation, DS9 when they were on. I watched them, but I'm sure I missed a few here and there. So I went through a little recap on the series. Season 1, new idea, not quite getting traction. Characters weren't clicking. They were doing a lot of sensational things with the gels and the, let's get some action, let's get some bodies glistening and all that.
Yeah.
Season 2 was kind of still the same thing, trying to figure stuff out. You'd get indications like, all right, they're kind of on the right track here. I like what they're doing with this. I'm starting to like this character a little bit. I wish they would do it this way, but it was always like, come on, just get it together. Season 3 was a big misstep. They did this whole season-long thing where it was revenge. We got to go. There was this probe that came and attacked the Earth, and it killed 7 million people. And then the Enterprise was sent off to this strange part of the galaxy to try to track it down. And there's a lot of anger, and they turned it into a much darker series.
Can I just interrupt for a second and say that's like part of the problem with sequels when you do stuff like that? Because how many times has a probe reached Earth in Star Trek and they never mentioned the time that a probe reached Earth and killed 7 billion people on Earth? Like, it just never occurred to Kirk to refer back to that.
Yeah, well, they didn't have that yet. And that was a big thing. Is like, you're going back and you're rewriting history. And I get the appeal. I really get the appeal, and I understand why, like Discovery and that new Pike show that they want to do, like they keep going back pre-Kirk, because as of Kirk time, everything's great. Earth is great. We got this Federation. We've got this alliance of planets. People are getting along. We've put aside our petty differences. There's no war on Earth. We don't need money anymore. People have just learned to get along and work for the betterment of mankind. But there's no conflict, and Roddenberry didn't want that inner conflict between people. But if you go before that, you don't have to worry about that. You can still talk about, they were still getting things together. There was still conflict. There were still people arguing and everything. And that's why they like going back there, because they're free to do what they want. They don't have to try to work within Roddenberry's unrealistic goals of a peaceful planet.
I mean, like, I'm watching the original series right now. Bones and Spock get into it all the time.
They do. They squabble. Yes. But when it comes to the larger picture, they usually can talk things out.
So I mean, if Star Trek, the original series, can do it, if the Next Generation can do it, if Deep Space Nine can do it, if Voyager can limp along while it thinks about doing it, they can still do it. I mean, come on. Like, I don't understand why they feel compelled to have everybody on the ship arguing with each other and yelling at each other. I just don't get it.
That's what you forget about Star Trek. That's what dramas do. The widespread, that's what TV dramas do.
Yeah.
Star Trek, they don't understand that it was a completely different beast. It had its own set of rules. It's just, oh, that's popular. Okay, you've been writing for these other dramas. Okay, write for this science fiction one. It's that, but in space. And I'm like, no, that's not what it is. Star Trek is very different. Nobody cares. Do that. So season 3 was a big misstep. Season 4 comes around and it starts very much the same as season 3. There's a really stupid first 2-episode arc thing going on, but then they get into another story arc, and then they get into another one. And what they've done in season 4 is they've mastered the 2 to 3 episode story arc. Now, normally this would be like a big thing when it was done in Next Generation or DS9. It's like, oh, there's like a 2-parter. Something big is happening. Locutus, there's a big one. But they've just taken it where they've been telling stories in chunks. There's no like big overarching thing for the whole season. It's just little things that go on. And, the first 2 aren't that great. There's a thing with time travel and aliens, and then there's something with the augments, and Brent Spiner's there, and it's like, it's all right. But then there's one about the Vulcans, and then there's one about the Romulans, and then there's one about Klingons, and there's one about the Tellarites and the Andorians. That one was really good. And you know what? It started coming together. I think they got a new writer or producer, somebody, because I watched some of those Rick Berman interviews after I finished it, and just to hear what he was saying about Enterprise. And he mentioned this one guy who I forget if he was a writer, director, whatever, but I think he was kind of bringing the show together. And as a season, it is absolutely the best season of Enterprise, and it was just pretty darn good. The whole season, it's got its ups and downs. Not everything's perfect, and even the best ones aren't going to compare with your favorite Next Generation episodes and things. But it was good. They finally found the formula. They seemed to be able to get the pacing better, because it wasn't the Archer show all the time. There were a lot of times where several scenes would go by where he's not there. He's still the captain, and he's still involved with everything in the important way a captain should be, but you don't constantly have him doing everything. So they had a chance for the other characters to do some stuff, to balance things out. And it just felt like the writing, the stories, the pacing, everything started to get good. Everything started to get a lot better than what it was, especially compared to season 3. So a lot of good stuff. It was really good. Unfortunately, by that point, Enterprise had really suffered in the ratings, and they got canceled, which was a shame, because like going towards I'd say 2/3 of that season were pretty darn good, and very enjoyable. But then they got canceled, and then they had a final episode. And I won't talk about the final episode, because that is a huge discussion. Huge.
I know what happens. I remember I remember when it happened, that there was such an uproar about it that I had to go online and see what happened. And I remember I'm watching it online somehow. There was no YouTube yet. There was no social media yet, but I found it somewhere and I watched the clip, and I've seen it since. Actually, it might have been, I can't remember if one of our channels was running the show.
Well, that would make sense for you to get the access to it.
Anyways, I just watched the ending. I know exactly what happens at the end.
Okay. Yeah, because it's...
If we want to talk about it, I don't know if anyone cares about spoilers.
Well,
I mean, when we
I know
started talking
that
about Star Trek, our viewership went literally in half. Like when I said
right.
Star Trek, it like, which I know
Well,
I know it's the Q dogs that turned it off.
Kyle is a big fan of Enterprise.
Yeah.
Matt Bandy likes Enterprise.
Yeah.
So maybe someday I want to sit down. I want to talk to them about the show in general.
Kyle did mention that he wants to be on.
He
and talk
did,
about
and I think it's a good idea. At least I don't know if we want to do it as a like recording show thing or just sit down and talk.
Okay,
but
I
do
want
to talk to them.
I will watch season 4, and when I'm done watching season 4, we'll have them on, and we'll all
you
talk
are going to watch season 4?
I'm watching season 4, baby.
All right, look at that.
Right in.
Kevin is watching Enterprise.
Season 4.
He's committed to it.
Just season 4.
Season 4 is fair. The only thing, I'll spoil some stuff for you right now. The only thing you need to know, I guess they'll tell you all the important stuff.
My goodness.
Season 3 was the Zindi. They were the alien race that attacked Earth, and there's a whole thing with the Zindi. So you're going to hear that, the Zindi. But the one of the things I really liked about 4, and you can tell it was a rushed ending, obviously, because they got canceled. So you can forgive the ending a little bit because like they had to wrap it up. But a lot of big things. But one thing they started doing right in season 4 is from the very beginning, and this is the mistake that DS9 made also, is from the very beginning, very first episode, they start telling you how important your captain is, or commander in case of DS9. Like from just, you're important, you are an integral part of this bigger thing, you're very important, blah, 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 blah. But then you watch a couple episodes and like, I don't get why this guy's so important. He doesn't seem like he's a great character or anything, you know? So with Archer, they were doing that this whole time, like this temporal Cold War, and you're important, and they're building up so that he's going to be, you know, somehow an integral part of setting up the Federation, and, you know, bringing the planets together and all that, which is fine if that's what you do, but don't keep telling me like you're so important the whole time. But by season 4, they're not hitting you over the head with that. And so when he does things, it's like, yeah, this is great. It's happening naturally. I'm learning to like him because of what he does, not because everybody keeps telling me that he's going to be important.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, please.
Season 4.
All right. It.
Here we go. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Spoiler. Peter Weller hides under a desk.
I kind of saw that one on Twitter already. So
I was very surprised because he was also in the JJ movie.
That's right.
Into Darkness, playing a different character. I was like, oh, there's Peter Weller in Star Trek again.
Yeah. Well, Star Trek does do that quite a bit, where they'll have actors play different.
But he wasn't even an alien or anything. He's just old Peter Weller.
Yeah. You got me curious about this Frantic and Furious franchise.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Is he conning you into watching that series now, or what?
I saw the exchange you and Josh were having about the Fast and the Furious movies, and I thought he made a good point in his defense, saying how come 80s movies, you know, cheesy 80s action movies often get a pass. It's like, it's just cheap fun. It's not a great movie, but it's fun. But you know, contemporary movies are just scoffed at. Like, it's stupid. It's not worth my time. So I thought, all right, that's a valid point, you know, because we do tend to forgive a lot of movies from the 80s and 90s. Demolition Man is not a great movie, but it's fun. Well, it's fun.
Okay,
it's enjoyable.
I would say the difference is when I look at something from the 80s and that, you understand the limit of the budget. They can only do so much. The audience that they were going for, whereas like something like the Fast and Furious, I don't know who that is for. I don't know. It's not for me. It's not for me, you know, so whatever. Go for it. Watch them. Have fun.
It's good times, rocket sauce. Are you talking about the Fast and the Furious movie?
I think he is.
Or Demolition Man.
Demolition Man is great.
Yeah, I'm sure he's talking about Demolition Man.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Demolition Man, like we talked about it already. That was
we
our
did.
last.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's not brilliant. It's got its
No,
problems,
but there's something
fun.
there. There's like it's got something
there.
to say about the future and all that stuff and that. Whereas Fast and Furious, I don't know what they like. It's nonsense.
Right. But I thought he made a good point about that. So I had never seen any of the movies, and he said, they're just good fun. So I figured, all right, fair enough. I looked on the Netflix and I saw like they're all of them there. At least, maybe some of the more recent ones aren't. So I was like, okay, I'm going to see how far I can get in this franchise. So I'm going to start watching Fast and the Furious. And I made it about halfway through the first movie, and I turned it off because it's just getting late, and I was like, all right, what's going on with this? But I did finish it. I finished the first one. And you're absolutely right. I don't know who this is for. It's to be fair, it's not terrible. It's not like one of those eye roll, I can't believe I'm watching this, turn it off. It's just completely flat. Like you could watch it or not watch it. I didn't find that it was too interesting in any way. There are a couple of fun shots. I think there's one I really remember from trailers of their two cars at a stoplight, and then light turns green, and then the one car, the one Vin Diesel's driving, like backs up on its rear wheels.
I've seen the GIF.
Yeah. So like that's a cool shot. And there's a couple of cool crashes, which were actual cars flipping around and like barreling down the road. But beyond that, it's sorry, another visual, people. You gotta get to the YouTube. It's people standing in front of cars doing this. Huh? Huh? And I don't know, fancy cars and people driving around. The plot is dumb. Very forgettable. So I don't know if they get better as they go along. I will say this though, Vin Diesel is not a terrible actor. He's actually pretty likable. He's in bad movies most of the time.
Yeah.
But I remember from that Pitch Black movie, the Riddick, the first Riddick one. I still haven't seen the others. He's not terrible. Like, he's a decent actor when he's put. Like if he's put in a good role or had some like good stuff to do, he's fine as an on-screen presence.
I remember Vin Diesel in Pitch Black being the least interesting character and me not understanding why he was the character that.
Right. He is the least interesting character, but I'm saying as an actor, he does have a fine presence. Not the best, but definitely not the worst.
There was some movie I watched with him in it that I thought he was okay in, but I'm blanking on which one it is.
I Am Groot.
No. And he was also the Iron Giant too, right? He was the voice of Iron Giant.
Yes. And he plays Dungeons and Dragons.
In real life?
I haven't watched it, but there are a bunch of YouTube things where it's called D and Diesel.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, apparently he plays Dungeons. I guess I haven't watched them. But after watching the Fast and the Furious, you do want to get jacked up like Vin Diesel. It's like,
well, maybe maybe that's what it's for. It's for
the movie is aimed at teenagers who just want to like have that cool car and hang out in that crowd and like, yeah, we're doing illegal street racing. Check out my ride. I got the NOS. NOS. They say NOS about 100 times in that movie.
I hated that when I was a teenager, though. Like, I found that stuff pandering to me. Like, when it would pop up in commercials or whatever, like, hey, get this because this is cool. And I was like, it's just, I was never cool. So anyway, so this, whatever product it wasn't going to make me cool anyway.
Well, you go back to your dorm room with your Star Trek trading cards behind you and go like, huh?
Yeah. Huh? Okay, ladies.
Well, some of this, I got Tellurite.
Vin Diesel might have a 69 Dodge Charger, but I got, let's see, what do I got here? I got look at that. I got an Enterprise card.
Oh.
I mean, if that doesn't turn you on.
That is nice.
Nothing will. How's that for a random pick?
That was good. I thought you were going to pull out like a Wesley Crusher rookie card.
That's what I was waiting for. I was hoping for the dorkiest card. Let's see if I can Get something dorky.
Leslie sitting there.
I want what I want is one of the hippies that visited the Enterprise. Oh no, I got this guy again.
Man, that must have been the common card.
Okay, 3 times the charm. Let's see what we got here. Let's see this one. I just got Worf and Picard.
Hey,
sitting there.
Nothing wrong with that. They're having a discussion.
That's right.
Talking about life.
Remember when characters used to do that in TV shows? They just sit there. They would talk.
The Federation does have enemies. That is not a crime, Worf.
So what
remember that episode, The Drumhead?
Which one?
The Drumhead, where there was they were having this courtroom episode about this young ensign who lied about his application, said he was Vulcan.
Yes.
But he was Romulan.
Right.
And then that nasty old lady came in.
Yes.
He did not answer the question about his heritage. Mm-hmm. That is not a crime, Worf.
Yeah, that was a good episode,
great discussion.
Man. See,
a lot of good Picard speeches in that one.
Ethics and morality and what would you do? Yeah. This is
Something is very wrong here, Mr. Worf. I don't like what we've become.
Yeah. See, and Worf represented that angry part in a lot of people,
just, the blind anger, just being led astray.
Oh man, that was such a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just people yelling at each other.
Oh, I didn't mention I finished Enterprise. Started up TOS. I watched The Cage last night.
Very good. Now, how are you? Guess you're just going to watch them in the order that Netflix has them?
Oh gosh, do they have them out of well, I know the next one is The Man Trap.
Okay,
that's the first Kirk.
So that, in reality, that episode is actually the 8th episode that they recorded. So
okay, so is this so? Okay,
so they have them.
Continue.
even on my Blu-rays, they have them in the order that they originally aired, and watching them in order like that is very jarring because I remember watching The Man Trap, thinking that was the first episode, and thinking, my God, these guys got it like right first episode right off the bat, like they're all just in sync in that. And then like the 3rd episode is actually the first one that it's like they just don't have it yet.
Is that Charlie X? Is that
yeah. And they're just all out of order. Like they're out of. So they put that Man Trap episode as the 2nd episode because that was the
exciting
one. Yeah, exactly. It was the Monster of the Week thing, and this was like, okay, this is going to be our premiere, and that's going to suck everybody into this show. But it makes for a very uneven watch in that first season because it just keeps going all over the place, and sometimes Yeoman Rand's there, and sometimes she's not because she was only on the first few episodes and whatever. Anyway,
all right, well, maybe I'll check. I'll look up for the shooting order.
It made me wish that I did that I did watch it in that shooting order way and see if it like the gradual progression would be better.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'll do that because obviously they're all standalones anyway, so it's not like one connects to the other. So.
Right. It doesn't matter. It's just more in how all the characters interact with each other and that. Like Yeoman Rand's last episode that she was in, like she was only in it for like a second or whatever, and that's what they were saying. Like I was reading online, like, oh, this was her last episode. And then the next episode comes on and she's on it again. Oh, that was the last episode that she shot on the show, know? So anyways,
I'm looking forward to it because Pike is a little old school. I'm not comfortable with all these broads on the bridge.
Well, yeah, Kirk says some
yeah, there's a couple of things. I remember there's one Scotty line of he's talking about one of the crewmen. He's like, she didn't know what she was doing. Something like that.
I mean, it was still the 60s.
She's just a girl.
Yeah.
You could at least argue like, well, it was the 60s.
Well, there you go. See, that's the thing too. And that's the other thing too with the Fast and Furious, just to squash
just to relate it to Star Trek,
just to squash his point a little. Older stuff too, when they would do stunts, it would be real stunts. Where on the Fast and Furious, I don't know if they're doing real stunts or not. Every time
there were a couple of real car flips.
Okay, a lot of it looks CG to me. Like
I can't speak for the sequels.
Like the only one, like I saw a little bit of the first a bajillion years ago, in The Land Before Time. And then I watched that one where they were on a glacier or something, or in the Arctic or something. And it was submarines coming up through the ice and all that. And it just looked all so fake. And it was all just people yelling at each other while they're driving. And I don't know. It's not my thing.
If you were 12 years old, and
probably
you were in a town where it's like kids are like looking at someone around here has a really cool car, and it's not like a great car, it's just like cooler than a regular car. And then you and your friends are sitting around talking about it, and then the Fast and the Furious comes out. Yeah, we're gonna go see that, and then we're gonna lift weights afterwards, and then we're gonna walk around. We're gonna look at cars. We're gonna walk the streets and talk about cars.
I'm sure if I was younger when that series started, I would be able to find some charm in it, and I would like it. I think it's a generational thing too. And I tried to bring up.
Well, I think you have to be a certain age to
right. And I tried to bring up that point on Twitter as well, and I said, like, look, you guys probably don't like the Dukes of Hazzard, and then they all said how much they like the Dukes of Hazzard, which I don't know. Okay. I think of that as something like that has to hit you at the right spot. Like I remember Three's Company, right? We were in a car, we were driving, and Sarah and I were talking about Three's Company, how great of a show it was. And there was a person that was older than us and a person that was younger than us in the back seat, and they were both telling us that we were crazy because the show is terrible. We're like, what are you talking about? It's Three's Company. It's a funny show. You got Larry, you got Mr. Furley, you got the Ropers. No, that show's garbage. Because he was a little bit older. So when it came on, like, it was just like, this is crap. I'm not going to waste my time watching this. And the other one was a little younger, and it was like just stuff she couldn't relate to. Like it wasn't it. But like her thing was Saved by the Bell. His thing was exactly like that's not. Like I can't relate to. So it has to hit you in that spot, and I think that Fast and Furious is probably one of those things. Not that that's for everybody. I'm sure there's older people that like Fast and Furious, whatever. But for me, it's just not my thing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's not my thing. At least my take is it's not terrible the way you might think it was. At least that first one. That's all.
If you're gonna make me watch that first one, get ready for some complaints. Get ready for some complaints. I'll try not to. I'll go in with an open mind and try to.
I will watch another Vin Diesel movie though. I'm curious to see.
What other Vin Diesel movie is there? Like
he did those Riddick movies.
Yeah,
I'm not watching the Triple X movie.
No.
I will watch the rest of those, and there was some like Last Witch Hunter, which is probably garbage, but I think that's on Netflix. It's the thing. I think he's in bad movies, but he. I've yet to see a Fast and Furious movie past the second movie. I hear people really seem to like it from the fourth movie on.
That's according to Rocket
things
Sauce,
get crazy
for people listening.
Vin Diesel didn't like it from then. Like I heard he and The Rock were at odds. Like they couldn't even look at each other when filming those things.
I'm looking at his movie. This is his movie, right? Oh no, this is producer. Okay, let's go actor. Okay, I'm looking at his movies right now, and I don't. There's like not a single one here that I would be interested.
Nothing
in
pops
watching.
out.
No,
I am gonna watch the Riddick ones. I'll leave it to that. I'll watch them. Riddick.
I remember watching the Chronicles of Riddick, and it was okay. And
that is the second one.
Yes, and
okay, I have that one.
Really hoping for the next one to be good, which was. See, there's the video game here too. There's Assault on Dark Athena.
That was a good game. You played that on the Xbox?
Yeah.
That was because you had the hand-to-hand combat and then the shooting and stuff.
Then I remember trying to watch the third movie. I can't remember what the heck it's called. But anyways, I tried to watch it and
I know. It's Pitch Black, The Chronicles of Riddick.
Right. Okay. Well, Riddick, I couldn't. Mm-hmm. I tried. I wanted to go in with.
He was also in like a Mr. Nanny kind of movie where he's like a babysitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I just remember like this looks Tooth like Fairy? That Hulk Hogan movie.
Was it Tooth Fairy? Was that him or
wasn't that Hulk Hogan?
There was Hulk Hogan in.
He wore a tutu in the movie.
That was Babysitter or something, or what? I don't know. What are we talking about?
Suburban Commando.
Okay, let's talk about what I want to talk about. I watched a movie called $5 at the Door. It's a Canadian documentary. It is about a small club in Thunder Bay, Ontario. I did a review on it on barryonmars.wordpress.com. You can go over there and read it. But let me just quickly tell you that it was a great little movie about like Canadian bands traveling through Canada. And Thunder Bay is kind of isolated. It's like 8 hours from one town, then 8 hours to the next town. So the bands would always stop in Thunder Bay and play a little gig in Thunder Bay. And this place was like very welcoming to the artists and that. But it was also, the movie wasn't just about the music and the artists in this band, but it was also about the people who lived in Thunder Bay, people who were into music. And, you know, this was from the early 90s before the internet, and how difficult it was to hear and listen to new music. You know, if you weren't into the top 40, it was very hard to hear new rock bands and that. And it goes into that and how important it was for a place like that to have bands come in and bring their music in. That was really the only way. Because, I mean, you either, if you wanted to hear new music, you either had to pay for a $20 CD at the store, so without hearing what it sounded like, or hopefully somebody else bought one, you know, because it wasn't stuff that was being played on the radio. There was no internet. You know, those are the only two shots at hearing something new, or going to a club. And if there wasn't venues like the place in $5 at the Door, it was called Crocs and Rolls. If there wasn't places like that, you never would have heard a lot of the new music. So it was a good documentary. So go check that out. Then I watched another documentary about The Band. Do you know The Band, Richard? They're just called The Band, from the 60s. You know the song The Weight? Take a load off Sally, take a load for free, and you put the weight on me. Robbie Robertson, Levon Helm, Garth Hudson.
Can I look through your Star Trek cards while you're talking about this?
Well, this was a great documentary too. There are some complaints about it because it is supposed to be, well, people go into it thinking it's about the band, but it's really about Robbie Robertson, and it's his story as he...
Robbie Robertson, didn't he work for the Daily Bugle?
And it was just a good documentary, and I can't talk to Richard about it because he's just too distracted with...
Well, that's the only name I recognize.
He doesn't care. No, Robbie Robertson.
Talking about The Rock.
He was the guitar player in the band. It's hard to talk about, I guess, without the band.
Anyways, he's also the editor of the Daily Bugle. But he's not the editor in chief. What is his job?
That's J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, J. Jonah Jameson is in charge. But what did Robbie Robertson do?
I don't know. So then I watched another movie called Jack of Trades. It's another documentary. In the documentary, is that the
Bruce Campbell show?
In the guide on my TV, it said that this was about the baseball card scandal of the 1990s. I'm like, oh, I didn't know there was a baseball scandal that happened in the 1990s. So I start watching this movie, and it's about this child actor who worked in a bunch of stuff and did a lot of voice work and that, and cartoons and that. He's a Canadian. He's from Toronto. And when he was a kid, his dad owned this chain of baseball stores called Sluggers in Southern Ontario. And one day his dad just packed up and left. Like, left his family, left the franchise, left everything, gone, disappeared. They don't know what happened to him. So the movie starts off about this baseball scandal. And as this kid is trying to find out about this thing, his friend is like, there is no baseball card scandal. Like, there's nothing going on here. There's nothing happening. The story is about you and your dad and everything, and you're not being able to deal with it. So it takes a turn towards that. And it was pretty good. It just doesn't really dive into either subject very well. Like, so for instance, like this baseball card scandal was about Topps and how Upper Deck, and how when they started, they had this really popular Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card that in a pack of baseball cards, you'd buy the pack for like $2 or whatever. And if you found one in there, you could flip that card for like $100, right? Because it was so popular. But meanwhile, the company Upper Deck was printing out these things, and they were saying it was like printing out money. They would just print out a whole sheet of Ken Griffey Jr. cards, cut them up, and then I don't know what they like. They didn't dive any further than that and say that did the company start selling these for $100 a piece, or did they just go into packs, or what? I don't know what the heck was going on. It was kind of confusing. But anyways,
that it would be an interesting.
Yeah, like that's what I wanted the movie to go into, and then instead it goes into about this kid and his dad, which was kind of interesting enough, but I was missing that part of it because he had like he was talking to baseball card collectors, and he had Jose Canseco on the show, or in the movie, and I don't know. Anyways,
you got my mind going now because you know how when anything like an action figure comes out. And then it gets really popular and people start flipping them on eBay and everything. Those NES classics or whatever.
Yeah.
A company could absolutely like see, oh, look how much this is going for.
Yeah.
Print,
just start making
produce
more.
a whole bunch more.
I know.
And just take them and put them on eBay.
Well, and that's,
you know, that money will come directly to the company.
Right. Well, see, here was the other thing too, is like when this happened, this was 1989. So there was no eBay for them to flip these things onto. So I don't know where they were supposedly selling these things or what. I don't know. But yeah, there was something there. Like there was more there that they needed to go into, and it just didn't. So it was a little disappointing on that end. But
I never understood baseball cards. Like I get it. I get the whole card collecting thing, but like I remember back when I was at Toys R Us, there was this section of just baseball cards, and there were like the little individual packs, and then there were these big box things, and they're always like these old dudes that would come in and buy baseball cards, and they'd go through them, but they'd like look at it and tell you like, no, this is garbage. No, none of this is garbage. It's like all I need is this, and you know, I was like. I never, that was like a completely different world. I never understood what was going on there.
That is a generational thing. Like that is like, you know, but
yeah, like nobody cares about baseball cards anymore for the most part, right?
And,
like
and
there's a very, you know, core audience that'll be into that. Maybe there's somebody who passed it on to their kid and they're into it. But do they still do that? Do they still produce baseball cards?
Yeah, it's only, I think there is just Topps left. I think that's where the movie finished off, saying it was Topps was the only one still making baseball cards. Upper Deck is still around, but they only do football cards now, I believe, or basketball, one of the other sports. But Topps is the only one still around now. Topps, they were very open about how they do things because they do it right. They were like, they understand how the market works. They understand like there are more popular cards and least popular cards, and once they do a run of baseball cards, once they do it, they take the sheets and they destroy them. So they can't make any more. So if a card does become popular later on, they have no chance of printing them out again because they know that they're appealing to a niche market who's still into these cards, right?
Right.
And they don't want to lose that crowd. So they just, that's how they do things. And that's why they have survived. Like they're the only ones still left doing it. Where I remember when I was a kid, there was Upper Deck, there was Donruss, there was Topps, there was Fleer, there was O-Pee-Chee, which I believe was a Canadian company. There were several companies all cranking out baseball cards during that fervor in the late 80s, early 90s. And it was all because people thought that they were going to get gold, right? And people were just buying boxes of these cards and then storing them away thinking that they'll be worth something someday, and they're worth nothing, you know, because everybody went out and bought them and stored them away.
Well, you see it now. It's the immediate flip. That's where you get your money.
Yeah.
You wait 10 years, nobody cares anymore.
What is Sauce saying here? My nephew likes getting them and pulled a card that was worth $14,000. His dad sold it on eBay. Wow, I didn't know there was.
That's what you do. I mean, it's one thing if the kid really loves the card, but I'm with the dad on that. If you got $14,000 sitting in that one little piece of cardboard, you don't let your kid have a chance to lose that under the sofa.
No, that's getting sold for sure. Okay, let me
one more. Do they still make? Do you see like trading cards for kids stuff anymore? Do they still make them on TV shows and cartoons and movies? Like when
I don't know. I don't really
see that kind of stuff in the stores.
I don't really look, so I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. I remember the big thing was, remember those stickers? Like you get those books and you put the stickers in them, and they'd be like a panel from a cartoon or whatever. Like I had a He-Man one and a Ghostbusters one. Don't remember that?
I remember trading cards for popular things, Ninja Turtles and all that. Or
Pokemon
movies.
cards are still popular. Kids love.
Well, that's
Pokemon
a game
cards,
though.
right?
It's not just. It does imply all of the collecting and trading and all that, but it's a game, not just look, I got a Wesley Crusher here. Look at me. You know.
Let's see if I can pull one out. Let's see if I can get it out.
You better pull a Wesley before the end of the show.
Yeah, it's just Riker and Picard again.
Oh, come on. Riker and Picard.
Maybe the set did right. There is no Wesley in here.
There are no stinkers. Just that 8-man.
Let's see.
Hey, Wesley was a good. I liked Wesley when he joined Starfleet and started pulling his weight, and then he just left.
He was supposed to be the character that kids could relate to. Oh my goodness, I got so many. I might have 2 sets of this in here. Like I got 3 of the bridge of the Enterprise here.
Is it the original Enterprise?
No, that's like that's the wood grain in the.
Okay, yes, I see.
From the back there.
Wharf station.
Yeah. So many doubles.
You got a cool money shot of the Enterprise D.
Yeah. Check. Look down there.
Down
there. Yeah, right on.
Look at that smile.
Hey, I'd be happy too. I can't find any Wesley. Maybe I threw him out. Maybe every time I would get a Wesley.
Every time you pull one, shut up, Wesley.
When I was a kid, I liked Wesley. I don't think there was a character I didn't like on the show except for Pulaski.
Oh, I liked Pulaski.
When I was a kid, I didn't like her.
Oh, she did a fine job. I know she's not liked by a lot of the fans, but she did a fine job.
Yeah,
and you can't blame her for taking the role. It's not her fault that Crusher got fired.
Speaking of which, there she is,
Dr. Pulaski.
I just don't think that she worked on the show. I don't think
she was a different dynamic. It's not. It corrected itself in season 3.
I don't think Picard needed someone that was questioning his moves all the time. Yeah. It just like that worked for Kirk, because Kirk needed that. He was always asking for advice. What do I do? Spock, what do I do? Whereas Picard wasn't doing that. Like it was always unsolicited advice from Pulaski, That's what I felt.
Plus she insulted Data.
Yeah, I called him Data. What does it matter? Well, one's my name and one's not.
One is my name, the other is not.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And he smacked her.
Okay, I got a hard out here at 6:30. I got another show to do.
Come on. We're talking about Star Trek cards. Can you get out of this?
I watched Moonrise Kingdom. That was a good movie. It was Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson's hit or miss with me, but I enjoyed that one. It's about these 2 kids that run away together, and it's all about young love and all that stuff. It's good times. Then I rewatched the movie Election. Have you ever seen Election with Reese Witherspoon and
is that the one where she's a lawyer?
No, she's not a lawyer.
Pink.
You're thinking of Legally Blonde. This was a movie before that called Election with her and what the heck's his name? Ferris Bueller. What's his name?
Matthew Broderick.
That's it. And that one's good. I watched it back in the day, but it was on TV, so I recorded it, rewatched it. Still good. And I just wrote Eat Man 4 in here.
Did you watch it, or did you just write it?
Watch it? I didn't watch it. I got too busy today. I set the time aside at work to sit back and watch it, and it got too busy. I could not watch it. Believe it or not, I had something to do at work. I could not watch a movie.
What? They make you work there?
They did today, and let me tell you, I'm not happy about it. Not happy because it was one of those things where I would have nothing to do, but other people were incompetent, so I had to pick up the slack. So instead of sitting back watching a movie, I had to pick up other people's slack.
Oh. What does Reese Witherspoon do now? Does she still do stuff?
I don't know.
I don't know if I've ever seen a movie that she's in.
Well, I've seen Election, and that's pretty much it for me. I don't think
filmography and accolades.
Sarah watches that Legally Blonde over and over again. It does have Shatner in it. William Shatner's in it.
Ooh. Wait, are you thinking of that or
Miss Congeniality?
Miss Congeniality, because I saw that.
They're the same movie.
Freeway, Fear, Pleasantville, Cruel Intentions, Election, American Psycho. Okay, I've seen that.
She was in that. Yeah.
Very small role.
All right, everybody. All right, I gotta get out of here. Follow Retro Fandango on Twitter at retro_Fandango. Get a boner with Fandango. Discord's awesome. Check us out there. Crash the plane.
Yeah, I have never seen a movie that she's in like a leading role. Apparently, she was in an episode of The Simpsons, though.
Yeah. Okay. Are you done? Are you? Can I get out of this cage now? I got to end the broadcast.
Yeah, I guess. I'm having fun, but
thanks, Richard. So you can come with me. Do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the show with me on the next one? We're going to be talking about AC/DC deep cuts. Do you want to be on the show with me and talk about that?
No.
What's your favorite AC/DC song that's not a huge hit that everybody knows?
Demolition Man.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
It's a very deep cut.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye.
Only the real fans know that one.
Oh, I'm in.